Hello guys, my name is Khan and in today's video we will cover a few different concepts. So we will be mainly talking about input box, message box in Excel VBA, and also we'll be talking about while coding it we will also put our emphasis towards active cell value, active cell row and active cell column. So before going further, so suppose if I have selected this A1 cell, so this is considered to be an active cell in Excel or in VBA. So suppose now if I select C2, this C2 is active cell, so I can change this value, change the value within this cell. That's why this is an active cell. And if I say what's the active row of this cell with this, which will be 2, and what will be the active column of this cell will be C, or you can 3, because the 3 is the third column that I have selected. So before going further, what I will do, because I will be creating a macro, so first I will save. I think it's better to make it a habit that whenever you start working on your Excel, especially when you are working on a VBA, save it first in a. So I will go to here, file, save, and then I will say this is the folder that I will be using. I will be naming as input box. You can name whatever you want, and I will not be saving it as Excel workbook because I will be using macros. I will be creating a macro, so I will be saving it as Excel macro enabled workbook, and I will save it. So everything good now. So what I will do, I will reselect my A1, and now this will be my active cell. In order to create a macro, you have to go to developer. As I told you guys before, if you guys don't see this developer tab in your Excel, I have already shown that how you can activate it. So you can go to developer and you can go to Visual Basic, and here this is my sheet. This is the Excel workbook that I have created, and here what I will do, I will create my code, create my macros. So in order to create a macro, you can see there is a down arrow button here. I will click it and I will say add a module. So module will allow me to create a macro. So suppose if I want to name my macro, so whenever you have to create a macro, you have to start with sub, and then suppose my sub name is roll number. So suppose what I'm doing is I will try to create an input box in which I will be asking the user to write down their roll number. So let's see, if I say I'm just giving an arbitrary name, roll number, and sub is getting closed by these parentheses, enter. So from the sub, my macro is starting, and end sub is the line where my macro will be ending, and all the code that I will be writing for my macro will be between these two lines. So the first thing that I will like to show, so suppose I want to create an input box which will pop up on the screen and ask the user to enter your roll number. But whatever you will write the roll number, I like to assign that roll number to some object. So suppose if I want to create one dimension dim roll number, as string, I'm calling it a string because it will not give an error even the user add any alphabet. So this is the thing that I will be using. And now what I will do, I will add my roll number. So I'll be saying roll number, and then roll number is equal to input box and here I will write down what I want to write down for the user. So I will say please write down your roll number here, and parenthesis close. Let's see what it do. So in order to execute it, I will run it. So here you can see, because of the input box, when I executed the macro, this is the thing that I have written down within the parentheses. Please write your roll number here. And so suppose if I write down 2511 and say okay. So what's happening is that this input is getting the value 2544 and assigning it to this roll number object that I have created. But suppose now I want to create a message box. So message box will be another pop-up which don't allow you to input a value, but it will give you some message. So in order to create that, I will say message box, and within message box I will saying the first part will be hello, thanks for entering space, and here, and after that I would like to write the actual roll number which we have captured through this input box, which is now assigned to this roll number object by saying underscore roll number. And now let's see if I execute it, what happens. Say 6544. Okay, and you can see it's saying thanks for entering 644. So this is the way you can play around with input box and message box. But the point is, when you will keep on executing this macro, it will just keeps on telling you, coming up with the input box and then showing the roll number in the message box. But suppose if it is a career fair and you want each student to come and enter your roll number, and on the back end you will also like that your Excel workbook keeps on storing those roll numbers somewhere. So in order to store your roll numbers, so suppose what I will do, I want to say that whenever a user enter the roll number, also print that roll number on my active cell. So in order to do that, I will be using active cell dot value active value is equal to roll number, which is the object, string object. So now let's see what I will do if I execute the code now. Play. Let's say capture 2544. Okay. So if I go back, you can see the 8544, whatever I have written down, is get entered here. But the other thing that I like to do, so suppose now if I execute it again, and now I enter some other roll number 5644, and then say okay, and then if I go back, now it's become 5644. So what I need to do is now that whenever I run this macro, I also want that this cell got shifted down and down and down each time when I execute the macro. So how can I do that? So in order to do that, what I will be doing first, that I will be creating another object which will be naming it as dim a for active row underscore row as integer, because row numbers are 1, 2 or 3 can only take integer values, therefore I will be using as an integer. And after that, what I will be saying, that a underscore row, which is the object that I have just created above, is equal to active cell. Active cell is a kind of a function in VBA dot row. So I'm saying that whatever is the active cell row number is, capture it and assign it to this object a underscore row. So after that, once the first time I have already selected this A1, but after assigning this roll number to active cell value, I will be writing down that cells A row, whatever will be the row number that we have captured, comma, first column A dot select. So, and before that, what I will be doing is, I will be also writing down another expression that whenever after assigning the roll number to active cell values, I will have to shift that cell to the new cell, to the cell downwards. So suppose if I have already selected A1, after assigning the value, I want that VBA automatically select this cell before finishing the macro, so that whenever I run the code again or macro again, the new roll number will get entered here again, and once that macro will be done, we will be automatically shifting it towards the A3. And in order to do that, what I will be doing is, I will be saying A underscore row is equal to A underscore row plus 1. So what I will be saying, I'm saying that move towards give a new number to this A row number and then select this cell. And once after selecting this cell, this big cell become active cell. So let's say if I do this now, hopefully I will not get any error, and let's see how it works. Run. And now I will say 56888. Okay. And if I go back, you can see 5688 got written down here, and now we move to the next cell. And again, if I execute this code, play, run, and let's say 6555. Okay. And now you can see that whatever the user are entering the data is also get captured into your sheet, and you are not losing any data. So with the help of this cells function, and with the help of this active cell rows, we are able to capture the data into our sheet too. Instead, we are not just displaying the data, we are also capturing the data in our sheet. But suppose if I accidentally select this cell, let's see how VBA will work now. So let's see if I execute this code, run, and I've now save it as enter any other roll number 36444. Okay. So if I go back, you can see that 36588 got written down here, and now we move to A4. Why we move to A4? Because we have used A4 here. A as A is mean the A column. So that's why what happened is that even we have selected the G3, what we have done, it have taken us to A4 because the G3 have the row 3, but we have written down A in our code when we are selecting the active cell to make a new cell active. That's why this thing become A4. But suppose if you want that whatever cell I have selected, I want that VBA or my code keeps on adding roll numbers within that column. In order to do that, we will have to just tweak little bit our code. So what we'll be doing here, we will be writing down dim, and we will also create another local for our code or for our macro, A underscore column, A for active column, as integer again, and in the same way I will be assigning my object A column a active column number. So I will be saying A call is equal to active cell dot column. And now instead of writing down, so what this active cell column function will return is a number. So suppose now if I have selected E3, so it will return me 5 because this E is the 5th column. And now instead of writing down A here, what I will be doing, I will be writing down A underscore call. And hopefully I will not get any error. And another important thing to note here is that I'm not adding this line for A underscore call because I want to keep my column fixed. So I just want to shift the rows, not the columns. That's why I am not writing A underscore call is equal to A underscore call plus 1. So let's see if I execute this code now, how it works. So let's say I have selected E3, and now if I write down any roll number 966, okay, and now if I go back to my macro, you can see that and a next cell got selected within the E4. In the same way, I will write down another roll number 8888. Okay, and now you can see 888 got written down within the E column, and we have successfully able to select the next cell, which is E5. So before ending this video, I will quickly go through the code again. Firstly, in this code we discussed input box function, message box function, active cell values, and how you can play around with rows and columns in VBA. So I have created a macro with the name as roll number. Starting from this sub, then I have created some objects like roll number, which is as a string, then active rows, and a object which will be capturing the active row number, and which is I called A underscore row, and then I created an object which will be capturing active column number, and I call it as A underscore call. Then I assigned these objects the active cell row and active cell column number, and then I have created an input box function which allow us to enter the roll number, which then I got assigned to this roll number object which I have created here. And then I also created a message box which is allowing us to printing that roll number which the user have written down and telling that, okay, thanks for entering the roll number. And after that, these things, I also want that whatever the roll number user have written entered also gets saved into my sheet. So for that, what I'm saying that in the active cell value, print that roll number or assign that roll number. And then I want to move to the next cell, which I am doing with the help of this code. So that's all about today's video. Thank you for watching the video.